All praise be to Allah the Almighty, and peace and blessings be upon His prophets and our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this episode of your program, Glimpses of the Life of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, I'll be talking about a very sensitive issue: love. Indeed, this is the religion of love. This is the Prophet of love. This is the way of life of love. You are the people of love. Allah said in the Quran, يُحِبُّهُمْ وَيُحِبُّونَهُ. He, Allah, loves them and they love them. This is reciprocal relationship. Sometimes many people love other people, but they don't love them. But here, Allah loves you. To love Allah, which is something ordinary. He is the one that showered you with His bounties. Your existence, your sustenance, your health, the universe around you, all this was given to you by Allah. So why not loving your Creator? But for Him to love you, this is another issue. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ. Say, if you truly love Allah. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ فَاتَّبِعُونِي. Follow me, follow Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is the result? What are the consequences? يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهِ. Allah will love you. This is a very important aspect in our relationship with all those who are around us. We love goodness for everybody. Not only for everybody, for every creature, for the animals, for the trees, for all what is around us. We love goodness for others as we love for ourselves. And here I'll talk about another aspect in the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is his love. One day, when Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he was a young man, but the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about him, in the day of judgment, the scholars will come with Bilal and with Mu'adh, but he will be far away from them, ahead of them. He is, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, the most knowledgeable of my ummah, of what is permissible, of what is prohibited, halal or haram. He took him by his hand and he said, Mu'adh, inni uhibbuka ya Mu'adh. I love you, Mu'adh. And this is why the greatest level of love, it is the greatest love for the sake of Allah. You love somebody not because they're relatives, your relatives, not because you have some business with them, but you want to get something from them. No, you love them for the sake of Allah. And those are the people who will be shaded on the day of judgment by the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another occasion, that Osama ibn Zayd, may Allah be pleased with him, the son of Zayd ibn Haritha, and you know how Zayd was related to the Prophet, that even he was called the son, Zayd, the son of Muhammad. And this is another story that we may talk about later on. But the Prophet ﷺ loved Zayd because he chose him over his parents. He chose to be with the Prophet and leave his parents. When they came to take him away, he said, no, I want to stay with my Muhammad. And they used to call those, Zayd and his son, Al-Hib ibn al-Hib, the most beloved one, the son of the most beloved one to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Osama was black and Zayd was white because Zayd was married to Ayman, she was black. And people would whisper sometimes, but one day, among those people, Bedouins who would really could tell, you know, they trace footsteps, they could they could really, they have this kind of power of shrewd skill of identifying forensic skills. Okay, let's, the word maybe forensic is. And he saw those two asleep. They were covered. Only their legs were out. He said, this is this from this. This black, this is white, but this is it. The Prophet ﷺ called everybody, said, listen to him. This is the real love. I'll end this episode with another love in the life of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Amr ibn al-As said, whenever I would see Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he was smiling all the time. I thought I was most beloved human being to him. Whenever he would see him, he would smile at his face. He said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, who is most beloved to you?" He said, "Aisha." At that society, in pre-Islamic era, they used to bury girls alive, not to mention love for anybody, not to mention for a woman. They look at it as a form of weakness, as a sign of weakness. Said Aisha. And Amr was very shrewd. He said, about men? He said, pbuh. He didn't say Abu Bakr, he said her father. And the Prophet ﷺ was not hesitant to tell, to reveal his pure feelings of love for his wife, for the father of his life, for all humanity, for all people around him. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ recommended, if you love somebody for the sake of Allah, tell them that you love them for the sake of Allah. I love you all for the sake of Allah, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring us all together into the shade of His shade, when there is no shade but the shade of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.